Hi, Dr. Ruth Anderson here with Enlightened World Network. Thank you for joining us. Welcome to Tenacious Leadership, Heeding the Call. I'm here with my esteemed colleagues, Deb Goldberg and Teri Angel. Back in February, Archangel Michael gave us the title of Tenacious Leadership and asked that we acknowledge the efforts and impact of fellow lightworkers. Then COVID-19 took hold and changed how we all view the world. During these unprecedented times, it would have been easy for these people to stay frozen in the uncertainty, to wallow in the fear, and to stay stuck, to stop putting themselves out there as a teacher or a guide. But it was during these times that these folks chose instead to hone their calling and to step up from a place of heightened knowingness that their voices needed to be heard now more than ever. I often refer to leaders as someone who comes to the table. These leaders not only kept coming to the table, but because they are so in tune to the divinity and open to hearing the call, they redefined their ministries to serve even a greater good. This leadership, this tenacious sense of leadership, has made a large difference in the lives of others. Each week for this series, we'll be speaking with leaders here at EWN who have devoted their time and energy and defined their lives by selfless service to others. Today, our guests are Niobe Weaver, Karen Palmer, and Sommer Joy Raymer. Welcome, ladies, and thank you for joining us. So, ladies, my first question for you is, what are you doing right now in your work? And Niobe, I'm going to start with you. Could you just take a minute, share a little bit with us about what you do personally to bring divine light into the world? And secondly, I'd like you to share what the three of you do together on a monthly basis.
Okay, thank you. For myself, what I do to be bringing divine light into the world, I call myself, I have this bio that says I'm an emotional healer and spiritual midwife, which is what I am. However, though I am a healer, I'm a sound intuitive. And what is a sound intuitive? It's that I hear energy, I see it and I feel it, but I hear the music that is in everything that is in being, and especially in our human souls. And so what my journey is and what my movement is, it's about reflecting to you the divinity that you are by the sound, the song, the individual soul that you are, and that it's important and it really matters that you're here, that anything and everything you're doing, just being you, makes a difference. And when we feel that, we can be inspired to be a little bit more of who we are, to really go in deeper and say, well, who am I? And have that inner voice come up and be of inspiration and stepping out into the world further, maybe to be a healer, a seer, or a writer, or there's many we can contribute into the world, of being some way of being organizing something within your community, within your church, just by being yourself. Or maybe you bake cookies every week and you take it down to the vet center, that kind of thing. So that's what I do with my work. And I do offer online. I have work online that I do with Sonic Prayer Circle through Sign. And I'm also currently starting my Facebook group, which is the Soul Song Sisterhood on Facebook. And I'm also developing some trainings that I'm going to be offering as well here within the next 30 days. And then what is the absolute delight and pleasure I have with these two other soul sisters I have right here. Our monthly full moon, I look forward to every month because it is a synergy of each of our amazing souls coming together, and each of our gifts come out naturally. We don't plan anything. There's no script. We just allow the divine to come through us. And I have grown so much because of these two women, because of Karen, because of Sommer. I have developed so much within myself as a woman, but also as a teacher and as a light worker. And I am so very grateful to them. And we're keeping going. We've had 14 moons. So
Where do people find that moon celebration?
It's on Spirituality Gone Wild.
Karen, could you share with us what you are bringing to the world?
Well, I love what my dear sister Niobe shared. I think that we're very much in alignment and such reflections of each other. I design musical, educational coloring books, and I use music as a tool of consciousness and enlightenment. I take music that many people already know, most of them know the rhythm of music, and I'm kind of a Weird Al Yankovic of kindness and compassion. And I take parodies and I change those into ways that we can actually raise frequency on the planet. I do that with my voice. I do that with the way that I work with children. I do that with the work that I do with the animals. I do that with the work that I'm doing in my own self. my true self has really learned a lot in this time. And as we have grown as the Blossoming Soul Sisters in the full moon, the three of us, I learned that self-love, self-kindness, self-compassion all begins with self. And we have to fill our own cup before we can offer anyone else something to drink. I've learned very, very important lessons about my own addiction to people pleasing and my fear and belief and limiting belief around thinking that I needed to keep people happy in order to feel safe. And that's a really big, big lesson that happened for me through our safe, beautiful connection of my two sisters, where we came together every month, and with the beautiful audience that was there, we literally shared everything that was going on with complete transparency. And as that transparency grew, I saw miracles in my own life. And not only did I see miracles in my life, I saw it rippling into everywhere I was. Every relationship that I was in was improving and was blossoming, like that blossoming. So I think that when we get called to be tenacious leaders, it's really all about listening to our own inner wisdom and trusting that inner guidance, to be vulnerable and to trust that when we share from our stories, from our past, from our experiences, and we share that honestly, we start to transform our own lives, and then that ripples out into hundreds of thousands of lives because of the use of technology and because of the sign network. You know, we are on Spirituality Gone Wild, but we also are on the sign network. So we're on many pages at once. And I really believe that the sign network and the gifts that sign has brought to our world is another layer of this leadership opportunity for all of us to realize that we all have a voice and that we all have something important to share, that we're all part of a jigsaw puzzle, and that there isn't anyone's piece that is more important than the others. We all need to be seeing each other as equals with dignity and respect. And I think that we're going to see a different world when we begin to truly, honestly have that new perception.
Thank you, Karen. Sommer, Karen started talking about sign. Will you share with us what you are bringing to the world?
Well, first off, it's really an honor to be here. I think it is about relationships. The Sign Networker is built by how we are in relationship and participation, supporting each other. So when I think about this past year, Ruth, and COVID and all the things of what you were sharing, that kind of like frozen, that it has been a time of like leaning in and getting into and participating more than I ever have in my life in these past months. So for me, everything starts within. And so it starts from the petals that are born in my soul, and that is the garden of joy. In the Sign Network, I am all about supporting organizations, individuals to be in synergy, but in synergy in a way that is like at the depth of each member, that they're tuning into the joy of service, to the joy of what it is that they're doing in the world, and how being in relationship and clarifying where, when we open up and show up in a way, how can I be a part of the goodness and the possibilities and the solutions that are actually helping people get beyond their fear and get beyond the frozen. That has been everything for me of how I show up. And whenever I'm in my own frozen, I face still my own fears every day. And, you know, that kind of ongoing journey of finding balance is like an everyday rediscovery, and to be able to be honest, to spruce all the time in my relations too, of what I can't do or what I'm called to doing. And that always starts from this place that's at the depth of me, that discernment of what is really being called in the depth of me, and then how that blossoms out. So being here with Niobe and Karen, we call ourselves, that we do with the full moon, the blossoming soul sisters. So when I think of these petals are coming from the depth of my remembering of why I am here. That's what these petals represent. Why I am here on planet Earth. And then what my petals connect to, and the garden of joy that my wish is to be a part of helping others blossom into their most extraordinary, beautiful blossoms in the world as well. You know, these are the times to be doing exactly what we're deeply called to doing. And so that is what I do through the Sign Network, is to support organizations to collectively empower through being in relationship with each other. And it is all about solutions and honoring and amplifying the solutions to co-creating peace on earth by 2030. And you're all doing it. We're all in it.
Thank you, Sommer.
Let's start with Niobe again. How is it what you are bringing to the world changed in the face of the pandemic?
Oh my goodness, what that has done is it has just fortified. It has strengthened my drive, it's strengthened my passion to step up, to show up, to be a voice. This pandemic is testing every fiber of our being, everything around the world, everything that we have come to know and rely on, and this is my life, and it's in order, this is the way it works, and it's always going to be this way. This pandemic has come in and has instantly changed it forever. And many people, when they say, oh, it's going to go back, no, we don't go back, we only go forward, we move forward. And we don't know what the future is going to look at. So what this is really bringing us to is it's bringing us into the moment, here and now, asking us to be very present. And that's what this experience, it's my own experience as well. Because our minds, I've watched my mind go off into all kinds of different directions. And I've watched my stress level go up and my fear go up. I have, my oldest son is a nurse in Seattle on a COVID unit. So there was that on a personal level. of dealing with this virus. And coming into that place as his mother, but also just looking at through the eyes of being a human being and looking at my soul, looking at my son's soul. He is here. He's doing exactly what he was born to do. And with that, there was a way for me to be able to release the mother fear, release the concern and the stress. Don't get me wrong, I still have my concern, but there was a thing of letting go and letting be, because he is exactly doing what he's here for. And so in that ride, we are all on this emotional, physical, emotional, and spiritual ride with this pandemic. And it's requiring each of us to stop, slow down, get present, come inside. What's really talking, what's really going on? How are you going to respond to it? How will you react to it? And that's what I've been bringing. That's what I've been bringing through Enlightened World on a meditation a day, and through Blossoming Soul Sisters is, what can you really do? And helping people get to a place of be here now. I can't let it go. Well, can you let it be? Can you just let it be and find the beauty? There is beauty and there's a miracle right here and now. You woke up, we woke up, we're alive. I consciously looked for beauty every day. And in doing that, it pulled me out of a very dark place or place of depression. So that's what I'm bringing. I'm saying, look within. If you can't do anything about it, let it be. And it is your reaction. What else can you do is choose how you respond. You choose how you react. And so how you react is your reaction action.
Thank you, Niobe. Karen, how is what you are bringing to the world changed in the face of the pandemic?
Well, honestly, it's changed everything, absolutely everything. I realize now that kindness is something that our entire world needs desperately, but we need to start where we are. We need to start in our own community. We need to trust that will ripple. And we need to, what I've learned in this pandemic is that, first of all, I had incredible, beautiful people in my own community that really stepped up, that honestly, I didn't even know were in my community until the pandemic was happening. And I saw creating food for people who were struggling. I saw one of my beautiful friends came together with a group of all of us moms and said, seniors can't get to the grocery store. Let's create a Facebook page, and will you help by reaching out to the local grocery stores? So the local grocery stores, so what I'm saying, like I said about the first question, our inner wisdom is guiding this ship. And people are stepping into their own inner wisdom. So the grocery owner, the owner of the grocery store saw the call, answered the call, saw that we desperately need help for our seniors in our community. So we made it so that the seniors could just call in whatever they need, and there would be a list of all of us so that they could go out and they can call us, hey Karen, can you go grab some toilet paper and some chocolate milk and some grab a couple things and bring this to Olivia, and here's her address, and here she is. And we became this beautiful family of supporters to each other. And yeah, there were moments. And then there was this beautiful man, 98 years old. He was celebrating his 98th birthday. And my friend Bridget said, let's all go do a birthday drive-by with balloons in our cars. And we couldn't, go and see this man. But what we did was we set up a whole thing on his front patio so that everything was there. there for him. And then he had a beautiful lunch. He had a beautiful dessert. He had everything there for himself to celebrate. And we had cards being sent in from all over the world to him, letting him know that he was loved and appreciated, that he was on the planet for 98 years. And he didn't have any family here. He had no family here. So it's like, I feel like we amplified all the goodness, and the pandemic for me has been an incredible opportunity for all of us to listen to our own inner guidance, our own inner wisdom, and really step in to the role of leadership in any way that we can in our corner of the world. And that corner of the world becomes a ripple effect for the entire planet. So that's why I believe that kindness did go viral, and it has gone viral. And it's much stronger than this virus ever will be or ever can be. And if we focus our attention on the kindness that is expanding, we're going to start to see that this pandemic really awakened the highest versions of everyone on the planet. Everyone's stepping in, everyone's stepping up.
Thank you, Karen. Sommer, how is what you have been bringing to the world changed since the pandemic?
The word that comes to mind is transmutation. That I feel that there has been like a recalibration of what really, really matters about this whole experience of life, that I've got to re-understand what actually really matters here. When I say transmutation, when I think about tenaciousness, you just don't give up. You don't stop. You keep going. And so for me, I feel that I've been getting really clear about how I can really get in relationship with transmuting what isn't working into what is working, or to shift my thoughts out of things that are holding me back versus expanding into this sense of blossoming. One of the words I think that is so commonly swept around during this time is confusion. People saying, I'm confused. I don't understand what's going on. And when I think about that, there's something that sort of spins about it, or like is a distraction when confusion sets in. So for me, it's about how can I transmute that confusion? And I really do get more now of where we are, how deep we are in this global pandemic, that this is a dance. How can I dance with the confusion? How can I step forward with a lighter, less heaviness stepping forward? How can I be kinder to myself, that I'm just doing the best that I can? And this is, you know, and so that transmuting of what isn't working anymore. And another word that is very alive for me at this time is that change. I feel like I'm getting in the space of, okay, well, this really works for me when I do this in the morning. And then the next day I may feel like that's not, but it's like, how can I just dance with all of the change? And that dance is really part of what is transmuting for me. So I can continue to be clear. How can I continue to be clear? That energy is so, so precious. Energy is so precious. Before the pandemic, I think I was a lot more scattered about things, but I feel a lot more clear. And that has been one of the offerings, the medicine of this pandemic. And gosh, you know, like what Niobe and Karen are saying, wow, when I think about my neighborhood, which is one of the places that I've been spending the most time ever. I haven't really left my neighborhood much. in all these months. And just last week, actually, Karen and I played a game through the midst of COVID called Peace on Earth by 2030 of these 7 different actions. And one of the actions, which I think is so powerful for all of us right now, is how to befriend the other. And there is a neighbor in my neighborhood that is someone that often people aren't getting along with. There's a lot of conflict with this person, this couple. But just in this last couple weeks, I have been making friends with this couple in a way that I never even thought could be possible prior to COVID. And there's just been a shift of recognizing how important it is to be friends and really know thy neighbor. And I just think that these relationships that we surround ourselves with every day are so important. And I've noticed and been watching the miracles by just leaning in and seeing how can I be a friend to my neighbors, and especially the ones that I can feel that I want to pull away from, or maybe that I'm afraid of conflict with. And there's just been something that I've noticed is changing, and there's more unity in my neighborhood. And it's all some of just being courageous, tenacious, not giving up, and that friendship with someone that may seem like that's not possible could be the most ultimate friend, an ultimate challenge that can create massive change. So that's been huge for me.
Thank you, Sommer.
Oh, ladies, I'm so enjoying this. So the question I want to pose is, where do you get your guidance and your motivation to continue to push forward? So Niobe, let's go to you to start that again.
Oh my goodness. What's keeping me? Okay. It's a feeling. It's my inner voice, my soul. My soul. I can recall when I was very little, when I was 6, how I started to hear. I could hear when I would be out on a piece of property on 20 acres by myself, the earth would speak to me. And then as I got older, and it's for the past 30 years, it's a feeling for me. I hear my soul knocking on my door. It's knocking, it speaks to me, it gives me visions. I get a feeling. There's that conversation. I have a conversation within my mind self and my soul self. My soul self will say, you're veering off, come home, come back into listening, come back into being. And it's a practice. And I've pulled away and I've come back, and I've pulled away and come back. And now it's a way of living. It's literally a way of living. I'm listening to, where do I step today? Where is my energy to be today? And that is what has been, it's that relationship, that inner relationship that has just continued to drive me. And because it's like, it's this feeling, it's like, come on, you're not supposed to be behind the door. You're not supposed to be behind the curtain. We have something we want you, Father, Mother, Spirit, God, Soul, Universal, we have something that we want you to be the vessel for. There's something that within you already feel it and know it, to be the teacher, to be the light worker. And that is what, and literally it has driven me, Teri. There's times when it first rose up after my near-death experience and my spiritual awakening, oh my goodness, it would not leave me alone. And there was this pressure, there was this urgency that I needed to do it and I needed to do it now. And so worked through that over the years, worked through that to coming into the place of, I think the urgency comes from because I hadn't developed the relationship yet. I hadn't really come into that conversation within myself that, you know, is like a friend, a sister, a brother, a lover within ourselves. There is a lover within yourself. It is you. You are this love. And so now there's not that sense of urgency, but there is that sense of absolute tenacious determination. Tenacious determination. And it excites me. It lifts me up. It gets me inspired in the midst of COVID, in the midst of everything that's going on. It's like, I know the time is now. And I feel so very, and there's a fullness. I feel full within this capacity. I'm ready. I've done a lot of growing, a lot of learning and growing over all these years and developing this relationship. And it takes care of me. It teaches me about caring for myself, of when to be quiet and take care of Niobe, and then when to also be able to be the Niobe that wants to just be the vessel and be the channel, and to teach, be, heal, be together, and bring us all together to help just lift up the world.
Beautiful. Thank you, Niobe. Let's go to Sommer next. And Sommer, what is it that guides you and motivates you to continue to push forward?
Well, I don't know if it's really to push. I recognize it's like in the sort of spaces between when I'm not listening to my body, what my body's telling me, when I'm not listening to the spirit realm, when I'm not listening to my soul, it's very clear that when I'm out of alignment with what I'm really here to be doing. And often in my body, there's like information always. There's an intelligence that's always flowing through my body of yes, or what? No, or, you know, those knocks, as Niobe was saying, that knock at the door. I am very informed. My body will tell me when I am in alignment. And, you know, and for me, my soul, spirit realm, I now, like, if I'm not in communication in some capacity, there's like a bit of me that's off. So, I mean, it's just, I mean, it's not force. It's like a way of being that I need, like water. And when I'm not sipping, I'm off. I don't feel good, or that I'm like, you know, my body's going one way and my mind is going the other. It just doesn't feel great. Again, COVID, wow. What really matters here? What really matters? The joy frequency it's so clear that is why I'm here, is this sense of the choice is always like innately here and possible to align with. And so for me, it's like the spirit realm that I'm most called to is like the highest frequency of joy and light. And so I've been getting in relationship, I mean, in a massive way in the last like 6 or so, 7-ish months, with my star family. Like when I look up in the sky and starting to really understand how my soul is the stars, there is like, I can hold a lot more in my life. I am more capable and tenacious innately when I am in relationship with my star family. And I've been learning a lot about that. And then how that really informs me as a healer and my capacity to be a support to the vision. I don't know what the future holds. I don't know what are all the answers. But what I do know is the spirit in me keeps communicating to me when it's like there's a map here somehow, and I'm listening, and the vision is so clear. I can see the dream, and it's just like a beautiful rainbow if I'm in alignment with the spirit realm. And that really, in a sense, the anchor for me is the Garden of Joy, and that the portals of the Garden of Joy. There are 8 portals that every day I anchor in to those portals, which are connected to the petals, which are connected to the purpose and the greatest visions and dreams that I have for myself, for my husband and I, for the sign network, and ultimately for the whole universe to be in unity.
So beautiful. Thank you, Sommer. So Karen, I can't wait to hear this. Karen, where do you get your guidance and motivation to continue going forward? Because you are like the Energizer Bunny, so you're constantly out there. Where do you get that motivation and the
I truly
guidance?
believe that it all kind of began with the work that I do with the children and the animals. And, you know, seeing what was happening in my own community, seeing what was happening with my own daughter, with the children that I was working with the animals that I was working with. And I knew that, you know, that sparked that inner guidance, that sparked that inner wisdom that was always there. And it really helped me to see how important it is for me to help others to see their own magnificence, for others, especially children, to really step into their innate goodness and really cultivate that in our schools as a system, working with sign and working with the compassion games for years, bringing that to the schools and knowing that we could bring a global education to a small town like mine and really help these children to see that we are a global family, that we're all in this together. And then working with animals, you know, to me, it started with animals for everything for me, because I'm an animal communicator and an angel communicator ever since I was a little girl. I didn't really know how to navigate my gifts. I didn't know how to share my gifts. And so I talked to the angels and I talked to the animals, and it was easy. And then, you know, as that progressed and the animals were saying, you're going out into the world, you're going to talk to the humans now, you're going to help the humans now. That was really scary to me, because I had been through so many difficult relationships and fears of trusting humans. So it was the love of the animals that helped me to be able to trust the humans, and then realizing how much I was not just myself as Karen Palmer, but me as my I am presence, as the beloved I am presence that is in every single beautiful person on the planet, and every single being, light being, you know, on earth, that I could be a voice for the voiceless that didn't have a voice at the time, to help them to find their voice so that they could share their voice globally. So I've helped so many people to really believe and see that they matter. And that's why I think that people care about the kindness movement. That's why people care about, you know, what we've done with the puppy love revolution, what we've been able to accomplish with Sign, what we've been able to see happening. I believe that we have loved our dreams into this reality. And I believe that if all of us continue to hold these visions together, that we are going to see a world that works for all of us. And that's what guides me every day, is to continually hold the vision and know that we are co-creating a world that works for all of us, a kinder, more compassionate world. And yeah, right now it looks very, very messy, but you know, sometimes you have to let the bottom of the pan soak in the water for a while. And then as you let that soak in the water for a while, and then you come back to the pan, the dirty pan, you come back in with a little sponge, it comes right up and it comes right off. And this is what I think is happening with us as a society. We are looking at all the stuff we shove down, everything that's been, you know, shoved under the carpets, under everything that we've hidden from everyone is coming up. And it's in the pot, it's stirring the pot, and the pot is stirring, and there's all this residue that's at the bottom. And if we let it soak and we trust, and like what Sommer was saying, we listen to our body, we trust that our body is our roadmap, you know, and when we trust that, we'll see that we are clearing those pots and pans and we're getting to the nitty-gritty of the illusion of the separateness, and we're coming into the truth of really stepping into each and every one of us living from the experience of oneness. We've all read about it, talked about it, had concepts about it, but now we're experiencing it, and I see it everywhere. I see it mostly, I see it happening online right now, where all of these conferences are coming together, all the summits are coming together, all the organizations are coming together, and they're realizing we've got to do this together.
Well, thank you, Karen. Thank you all for your answers. Ruth?
I think we've seen that the hallmarks of tenacious leadership here are passion, dedication, and commitment to following your own inner guidance. And you all three have spoken to that so beautifully. I want to thank you all for being here. And if you could share with us, if folks want to learn more about you, how do they reach out to you? Niobe, how do folks find you?
Well, thank you, Ruth. Yeah, again, it's been, this has just been such a pleasure to be here with my blossoming soul sisters, and the reflection that you all are giving to us. Thank you. You can find me on Facebook, Sonlight Niobe Weaver, or you can find me in my group page. I'm inviting you to my group page of Soul Song Sisterhood. And then on online, you can find my website, learn more about me, my story, and the different offerings that I have, or why and how I do what I do. It's niobeweaver.com.
Thank you. Sommer?
Oh, yes, I just feel so much blossoming and tenaciousness here. I've really, in some ways, just being here, I feel more tenacious. So thank you. And yeah, I'll start with Facebook. So I do have, for the Garden of Joy, Stepping into the Garden of Joy Facebook group. So if you would like to join, there's just a few questions that I prompt you to answer about your relationship with joy, and just to make sure that you are a real human in this wild Facebook world. So sharing your email is just making sure and confirming, you know, just a few questions. And when you join there at the top of the group, really as a gift, there's a couple of announcements there that are a couple different offerings of some guidance from the Garden of Joy, a dance of world unity, and a dance with unicorns that you will be receiving by joining the group. And through the Sign Network, I really am the discovery and orientation communications person. So when you go to SINE.network, there is an application process, and I will be on the other side of that to see if that's a good fit for you to join the Sign Network.
Karen, how do folks learn more about you?
Well, the best way people can find me on all social media is Mindful Media Mom. And also you can go to spiritualitygonewild.com. We have created a space where we're helping people who want to learn how to be a guest and who want to learn how to be a host so that they can feel comfortable in front of the camera. I highly recommend people really find their own voice and really trust in that they are meant to share what they need to share. And I think that we have done that with Spirituality Gone Wild. We've created a safe place, and I think you've done it so beautifully here at Enlightened World Network too, a safe sanctuary, a place where people feel that they can easily share their gifts. And so that's the best way.
Thank you. Sommer, Karen, and Niobe, thank you so much for standing in your truth and for heeding the call, as Spirit has called to you over and over to come out and bless other people with the life that you're living. So thank you. So much love to each and every one of you. And to our friends here at Enlightened World Network, thank you for watching. Thank you for being here. And join us again next week for another time coming together of tenacious leadership and meeting some of our other leaders in the spiritual community. So thank you and God bless.